Hey man, what's up? Seems like we are too early.
Good morning there.
Hey brother Don, how are you?
Alrighty, I'm in Los Angeles. Where you at, brother?
Like I'm really sorry. English is not my primary language, so
No,
I
no
may ask
problem.
you.
Yes. Yeah.
Happy Saturday, folks. How's everybody doing?
Doing fine here in Los Angeles, buddy.
Hi there.
Hello.
Guess we're out early, huh?
Yeah, Jade is usually on. Sometimes she's playing music. Sometimes she's got some screens up talking about some of her lending opportunities. I don't know if they're preoccupied.
Yeah. Well, she still has a minute or two left. Maybe I wonder if she's going to be on today. I know she was in here last week.
I know that happened a couple times. They didn't send an announcement saying that it was postponed or canceled, and then we just did it. We did our own thing. We all networked.
Oh, there you go. That's fun too. I just got off of the community jam session with Pace. He
Oh,
just ended at perfect timing. I mean, like 10 minutes ago. There's always something new to learn there.
I'm on our way to one of our flips. Well, one of our buy and holds. It's an independent living. Um, oh, the neighbors are a pain in the butt. Let's just put it that way.
Oh, how interesting. Tell us a little about it.
Oh, it's an interesting property. It comes with acreage. So there's back in the early '90s, the gentleman that owned it subdivided it. It was originally 20 acres. So now there's four or three um, single family residences that have like 3 acres and 2 acres and such surrounding this property. This is the only one that is zoned commercial and zoned accordingly for independent living, or the county actually calls it group home, convalescent home, nursing home, retirement center. um, and actually, I lied. There's a second one up the hill from ours that is classified the same. but that guy got himself into some legal trouble. He tried doing a hospice center at that property, and he was posing as a doctor writing prescriptions. So he just got sentenced to probably 40 years in prison.
Wow.
I mean, they had the FDA, they had the FBI, they had everybody present at this property. So the neighbors are very bitter. They're fearful for what we are intending to do with the property, because we own an independent living in another property that's about 10 miles away from this one. And that one has an occupancy of 24 tenants. This one has an occupancy of 38 residents that we can house. So the neighbors are fearful that we're going to go down the same route that this gentleman did and just cause a bunch of trouble and heartache. And so yeah, they're being fun. They're not supportive. They called the zoning office on us. They called the state officials on us to try to pull our licensure. So the state called us and said, well, you guys are, you hang your license for independent living in Pennsylvania. We are hanging our license in safekeeping, which essentially, yes, we're renovating, we're not, property is not active at this point. So this is what we're doing. So they're trying to fight us and just be nasty about it.
Wow, that's a lot to go through. Just for a property. I mean, yeah, that's a lot. Well, hopefully everything works out fine. It's a little bit. That's a lot.
It's the stuff they don't teach you with flipping and comping properties and all that fun stuff. But it's rewarding. It is rewarding. It's the property sits on just shy of 4 acres and is like I said, we'll have 38 residents eventually. So it's an awesome experience and opportunity, because once we get it rehabbed, we got it so far. Uh-oh.
Yeah, we kind of lost you.
Uh-oh.
But I hope everything works out. I mean, kindness is the key to all success. So, yeah. Sometimes you got to be more than kind.
Baby? I don't know if you can hear me on that one now.
Okay, yeah, we can hear you again.
Oh. Yeah, so once we get up and running, once we get the renovations going, we'll be fine. But
okay. Well, I'm not sure if they're coming in or not.
Hi everyone.
Good morning.
Oh, hi Colin. Actually, my name is Sashwat. I'm basically from India. I'm just 23 years old and doing virtual wholesalings all from here.
Oh, interesting. That's nice to meet you.
Yes.
I live in California, but I'm in Hawaii right now. I have a tax business I turned over to my daughter. So I'm like her head accountant. I fly back and forth just for the busy part of tax season. Everyone's a bit worried because of everything that's going on in Washington. All the business clients just want to get their taxes out of the way. It's like, what? Nobody wants to file extend this year. I don't know.
Hello, hey guys, how are you? This is Chai. So sorry, I'm just reaching a place where I can sit down, but until then I'm here with you in the car. How you guys doing? Hey April, nice to see you.
We're all fine, just conversating here, waiting for you. I'm gonna mute myself.
Yes. Sorry about that. I had a call from the contractor. I had to take care of a couple things before I hopped on. Jada may not be able to join today because she's moving to Texas to work with us closely. So it's going to be awesome. And we are able to bring you a lot more content, lot more value add to this group. It's going to be perfect. So while I'm in the car for the next 5 minutes, if there is any question, please go ahead and ask. And I'm here. Hey, Chance, how are you? Victor, how are you? Don, what's going on? Lot of Colleen, how are you? Awesome, awesome. Who do we have? Who's new here today? Sean Lee, are you new? First time? I know April's new. I mean, well, not new, but first time in our call.
I've been here before. You
Oh,
helped
you
me a
have.
couple
Okay.
times. Yep.
Oh, okay, okay. Sorry, yeah, maybe.
No,
I mean,
all
I
good.
don't remember all the names. I do all. I mean, this while this is a smaller call, or we have I do other calls in sub 2 and Gator. So I go through a lot of people in a week. I apologize for if I. Hey, Shashwat, how are you, man? Awesome. Aaron, what's going on? Any questions? Anybody has a deal they want to underwrite? I'm happy to look at it, send it to my email. If you don't already have my email, I'm going to drop it here in the chat. 1 second.
Guys, I do this April. I do have a question.
Yeah.
We have a home that is in foreclosure. There's currently two weird mortgages, like one regular mortgage on there, and then one that the payoff is based upon the equity in the home,
Okay.
which is not really my issue at the moment. The next part of this is the persons whose names the mortgage is in is passed away.
Okay.
Their son is trying to sell the home.
Okay.
I guess, and there's probably after these the two mortgages are paid off, there's probably about $60,000 to $70,000 in equity. But I'm wondering
Okay.
if this is a deal because one, if the person is deceased, we cannot take over the mortgage subject to, I believe. Is that correct?
That's not entirely correct. I think there is a way to do that as long as the son has an access to the portal to make payments. And if at all the son has been able to put himself as someone who can manage the loan using any document such as will or probate or anything like that, I think there is a way to take over that mortgage as well.
Okay, so it would have to be where he has not just access to the portal, but also there's something that was done, something legal document signed for him to do the mortgage?
Yes. So ask him that question. I mean, how long has the person been deceased?
At
How
least
long ago?
about 6 months.
Oh, okay. It's pretty recent. Okay.
Yeah.
So ask him how he's making the payments to the mortgage.
He's
One.
not. That's why they're
Oh, he's not.
foreclosing. Yeah.
I see. Okay. So tell him to call the mortgage provider and
Mhm.
tell them the person is deceased and he's willing to and able to take over the payments and see what they say. I mean, before that, ask him about his like airship situation. Like, is he legally in control of the assets
Yeah,
for
that he
his?
is. He has the deed to the house, just not the
Okay,
mortgages. Yeah.
okay, got you.
So
Awesome.
ideally, that would be a great situation if he can control the mortgage. If he can't, I guess I would want to know if it's still a deal, and if we still should move forward possibly and purchase the home by paying off the two existing mortgages, or if there's not enough equity.
I mean, if you're paying off the mortgages, there is no. I mean, the
I mean,
discussion is very simple. But if
we
you're
don't
taking
want to go
over
down
the
that.
mortgages,
Yeah.
sorry, go ahead, April. I'm sorry.
We really don't want to pay off the mortgages because it's a big month.
Correct.
of the money, but I'm wondering if it's still an option. Would we still be able to wholesale it in that way? If there's only like 60 or 70,000 in equity, would it still be a deal?
What's your are you able to share the address in the call, or you want to send it to me privately? I can take a look.
Sure, I'll send it to you now. It's in Cape Coral, Florida, so it's a good area, but the Florida market already drastically dropped. Sec.
I hear you.
And I know you're driving, so if you want to just look when you stop, that's fine too.
No, I'm actually stopped here. That's why I asked you even.
I'm sending it now.
Yeah, I'm just here, you know. And how much is it worth, this house? I mean, I'm gonna check in a minute.
Yeah, so they're selling it retail right now for 400. It's worth at least 425,
Okay.
and they owe about 335. But he wants some cash too, he's saying.
Much.
Well, our original conversation like a month and a half ago was 17,000. But I think I could offer him much less now, like probably 10, 5 or 10.
Okay, and what are the splits on the mortgages? How much each one is?
One is 195, the other one is at 135, but the 135 is the weird one. It's based on I'll actually send it to you now. It's based on the equity in the home, which I've never seen before.
I believe it's
Okay,
called
it's
an
more like
equity
a
share.
heat.
Oh,
Yeah,
I was
go
gonna,
ahead.
I was
No,
gonna
go
say,
ahead.
it sounds like an equity sharing loan.
Yes.
In other words, the advance of the money, no payments, usually a 10-year term, and any appreciated value from the time they made the loan to the current value, they split 50-50. They're called equity sharing loans.
That's probably exactly what it is. But yeah, I'm sure that's probably what it is. And what they have on there is, I think, a little inflated of what they're thinking the equity is. Well, definitely inflated. They're at 460.
But they're usually a first trustee lender as well and hold the interest in the appreciated value. So you still would have to deal with the equity sharing entity.
Yeah, that one would probably want to be paid off, right?
Sorry.
It's one and the
Sorry, I
same.
was on mute. I didn't realize. Say that again.
I
Hello.
was sharing that I believe that the person's second or the same entity, usually they'll pay off any existing loans and they'll do like a silent second. That's what it's called, an equity sharing. So you still have to deal with them as a first trustee lender.
Right, okay. I'm assuming either way, they're gonna probably want to be paid off, but I'm not sure. I mean,
So that second mortgage is more like a HELOC than a conventional mortgage. So those mortgages are, again, I don't know to tell you because I have never taken over one like that. I've taken over hundreds of mortgages, but not one like a HELOC. And I like to, and this is only perspective. This doesn't mean you should not try. And by all means, I'm all about creativity. So I feel like there is something there because there is good amount of equity if you believe it's 425 versus 335. And considering the complexity, you could probably negotiate this guy down to like 5 grand, which is exactly what you should do, in my opinion. And try to take over both mortgages. And what interest rates are they both?
I actually don't remember offhand. I'm looking at them. So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't really understand how that one works. Like if I don't know if you see that that sheet that I just sent you. That doesn't make sense to me, but the other one is under 5.
Okay, let me see. This one.
I can. Yeah, the other one is at 4.62, so it's not a great interest rate, but it's not a bad one.
It may be a good idea to take a look at the a note.
Investment amount is 75,000. HEI percentage 67%. Homeowners protection cap 17.5%. What is all this thing?
I can't see who the other person speaking is. Have you dealt with this kind of loan before?
I've researched them as an alternative product to the senior citizens. We're going with the reverse mortgages and being the amount of the loan was increasing because they were accruing interest. On the equity sharing, there's no accrual, there's no payments, and it's just usually a 10-year term. And what they do is they split any appreciative interest from the day they made the loan to the day they get paid off or it's sold. Whatever that equity appreciation is, they split 50-50. But make sure there's no accrual interest on that. And usually on those equity sharing, there's no accrual interest, which would mean the principal balance plus whatever's been accrued over the years that it was issued. Is the contract on the first and the second the same lender?
No. Different
Okay.
lender. Thank you. That information was super helpful. I appreciate it.
No, that was very, this was awesome. Who was that? Who was talking? I'm sorry. Was it
It's
you,
Don.
Don? Right. Yeah, I figured.
Yes.
So Don, this is exactly, I mean, it adds up. So April, maybe you want to connect with Don and get his number or something, because whatever he explained, that risk adjustment, homeowner protection cap, I think there is some sort of interest in the property on their behalf, because they are mentioning the value of the home from Redfin, Zillow point on this change to date is 29%. So their initial loan was 75,000 and it has gone up to 135,000. So in my opinion, that this is a very, like, it's not, maybe I'm sure they got their legal basis covered,
Yeah.
but this is a very predatory loan. If you get into this property, this loan can basically wipe out your strategy. This is a dangerous loan, I can guarantee you that. Based on
Yeah.
what Don explained and how your statement reads, it all adds up.
So it would probably
So
be beneficial to
yeah,
try to pay this
be
off.
careful with that. Either you need to plan on paying this loan off, because it does sound like their loan amount, even after that loan amount has gone up, you got some equity in the deal. So this could be something you take over and flip it on the market.
Yeah, that's what I was
That,
thinking.
yeah, so there is a chance to flip this if you think it will sell for 425 or whatever. Then why is it not selling at 400? That's another question to ask for yourself.
Yeah. I don't think it will sell. I think the equity is probably like 425. The market right now, I live in Southwest Florida, is horrible. But I think we could probably get some lease to own or some rent to own, or possibly even a pad split with this property, just because of where it's located.
Got you. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, both of you
Yeah.
guys. Appreciate it.
And how many bedrooms does it have? Let me ask you this.
4-3.
Okay, there is a huge pad split potential for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good luck. This is awesome.
Thanks,
Thank you
guys.
for bringing it here.
I appreciate your help.
Of course. Take care. Awesome. All right. Anybody else with any questions today? So since Jada has been planning and traveling and all these things, we have not had a chance to bring you guys a guest. but next weekend, the weekend after Squad Up. So next week is Squad Up. How many of you guys are attending Squad Up? Give me one in the chat, possible, because I am attending. One, two, just one person attending. All right. If there is no other questions, I'm just gonna. Where is he? I'm in Hawaii right now. Wow, Colin. Way to rub it in.
And it is beautiful. And guess what? The island I'm on, there's an eruption going on. It's so beautiful. I mean, I'm not up there, but you see all the pictures that people are posting on IG.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I know, it's just so crazy, but I'm helping my daughter. I turned the tax business over to her, so I'm like kind of transitioning everything over to her. And
Okay, tell me more about this tax business. What do you mean by tax business? Are you a CPA?
Yes, I've had a tax business for like 15 years.
Oh my
And
gosh,
this,
I didn't know you were a CPA.
that's why I follow you. I mean, I'm trying to get into real estate, and I don't want, I'm trying to see where I can just fit in. I want to become
Okay,
I want to join Owners
reach
Club.
out to you. I'm gonna reach out to you privately after this, but I'll tell you what I want to talk about. So my brother and I own this accounting company. Okay,
Mhm.
and we are trying to bring in more and more clients. I'm able to bring more clients, but he's not able to keep up with them right now. So we are taking it slow, but someone who has been a CPA and understands books and bookkeeping, because I mean, CPA bookkeeping is a lot easier for a CPA to understand than a normal person. So
Yeah.
I definitely can use those expertise. So we focus on real estate investors only. As far as our company goes, because I have employed almost every strategy in the book in my business, and I think I'm in a position to help people, unlike many other CPA firms or bookkeeping firms.
Okay, here's the thing though. I'm not updating my CPA license because I'm changing over to
Oh,
real
you don't need
estate.
to.
Okay. But
No, this is
do
just for
train.
CPA. This is not for CPA purpose. This
Okay.
is for bookkeeping purposes
You
mostly.
know what? And I'm training in Hawaii companies, like they need help in different areas. I'm training them in payroll and all different sorts of stuff while I'm here. So, and this is my excuse to fly back to Hawaii every now and then.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So
But
when
yeah,
are you
and I
doing?
meant to reach out to you last Tuesday, but I'm so sorry. We got crazily busy and I just didn't have a chance. So yeah, that'd be great if we can get on a call sometime today
Yeah.
or another day.
Are you gonna be at Squad Up or no? I guess
No, not this one because I have to stay in Hawaii. I leave here April 30th, right after the busy part of tax season. Then I go
Got you.
home. But I will be on the next one. I don't know if they
Okay,
already
perfect.
planned it. I will start joining in. I want to get into Owners Club. So
I've
just
got a
see where we
CPA
go.
question. Can I ask?
Sure.
Yes.
I understand that people in the real estate space, when they're researching properties to acquire that they do not buy, that their time vested in doing the due diligence is a tax deductible item.
Okay, that's for you, Chai. I'm learning real estate. I've only been in this real estate business for 8
That's
years.
I think I understood the question, but if you don't mind, repeat it again.
okay.
Their time is tax deductible. Is that what you heard? What I heard?
Right. I understand that the time invested by an investor
Right.
researching properties that they do not acquire, that their time invested is a tax deductible item.
Pretty
Just
much,
like what, go
I'm
ahead.
gonna say yes, because, and there are, again, tax is again, I'm not a tax attorney or CPA to give you any advice, so whatever I'm saying is speculative. Okay, but Colleen can vouch to my speculation with her speculation if we want. So if you hired someone, okay, if I go and hire Colleen to help me with anything, I'm gonna pay her salary or a compensation in the form of I mean, as as an independent contractor, however I pay her, and now she researches for me using
Right.
her time, then
Yes.
that expense
Yeah,
is deductible, right?
I would agree that is a tax deductible as an
So
employee.
I don't see
I'm
why
just saying,
your own time is not deductible.
that's what I'm saying. That I believe that there is a provision that allows you to write off your time, just like when you're scrubbing lists of, let's say tax liens, you got 200 of them to scrub, and you
Yeah,
end up getting 3 or 4, but the time vested in analyzing all the others, that time is invested, and I would think it would be
yeah,
similar to the mileage, as long as you can uh, uh, book a record on it. In other words, when I started uh, researching and when I stopped, that time would be a deductible item for me
yeah.
not the employee that I pay. I paid an employee, that's just something understood that their time is deductible, but I'm saying my time for scrubbing lists.
Correct.
And you need
Yes.
to watch too on the different states. The different states have different laws. So sometimes it depends on which state you're in, but the deductibles are, a list of them that you could probably use this. What state are you in?
I'm in California, but I believe that would be a federal
Right.
write-off, so that would apply to all our states.
It is a federal write-off, but then when you get to the state part, they'll ask you more questions.
Yes, I would agree with you that each state would be would different, but most people file the federal as well as the state.
Yeah.
And I'm just wondering if that they're losing a taxable item there by not recording it. The same thing like a driver, they record their mileage in the event that they're being audited. I would think that you'd have to keep some kind of a record of the time you spent scrubbing lists of properties.
That's what we do with our clients. We make sure they do have a mileage, but when they first come to us in the first year, they're very unorganized because they don't know. So sometimes we do some offsets for them and then we start training them into, and by the second year, you'd be surprised how people just clean up their stuff. I know I am. I'm like, wow, this is really neat. But yeah, you can, and just got to watch some of the states. Even if it's a federal, the state will come in and say something, especially California. I live in
Right.
California, so we know how
And-
crazy California can get. And guess what I do?
Okay.
My businesses, I go through Prime Corporate Services, right?
Yes.
And I do my state license in Hawaii. So I have a place in Hawaii that I can run the business, and it's a lot cheaper than dealing with everything that California has. So that's what
yes,
I mean. You just watch the states that you're in. It can make a really big difference.
Yeah, and let me share as I buy and sell my first property and I make a large profit on it. Could I not do a average income and write it off, average out the last 4 years and reduce the taxable on the larger profit on this year I sold my property?
I would check with your tax person because they know your whole portfolio, and they'll be able to guide you like, hey, maybe you should try this, or maybe you should try that. So most of the tax people that I know, tax professionals, they will guide you in what you should and shouldn't do. And yeah, do you do your own, or do you have someone in the professional area that does your taxes?
No, I haven't filed taxes in 26 years. I'm retired. My Social Security is not taxable.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Okay.
But if in the event of someone who buys a property makes a large profit and they want to go ahead and reduce the amount of tax to be paid, I would think that they could possibly utilize that average income
Yes,
over the last 4 years and reduce the amount that you're going to pay on this one-time profit on the investments that you sell.
absolutely.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chai.
Yeah, of course. No, great job. I mean, great question, Don. That was very helpful. Okay, I'm stationary here. Any other deals you guys have? I'm happy to answer them. Yeah, go ahead and raise your hand or text the deal in the chat. Um, let me see. Grady, what's going on, man?
How's it going, my brother?
So Grady, is it okay if I put you on the spot, Grady?
Go for it.
So we have some really cool people coming in and associating themselves with a group because we come off genuine, and my goal is to make each and every person a genuinely smart investor who bases every decision on the numbers and not uh, something someone sold them. Okay, I mean, I can sell you a bad property by showing some random facts that are not based on the numbers. But if you attend this call and be part of this community that I'm trying to build, my goal is to make sure and empower each and every one of you with the mindset of basing your decisions on the numbers. And that's why underwriting is probably the top, if not the only skill that really matters if you want to be a good investor. Every other skill can be hired, but underwriting is the hardest skill to hire because the person that you hire really need to know you as a person and your style and your risk appetite and your situations in your life. Okay, so underwriting is the number one skill you should master before you jump into real estate, or rather while you are in real estate. Focus on fine tuning your underwriting skills, and the only way to develop this skill, I mean, this is like education. The more you study, the better your grades are going to be. That's unfortunately that's how underwriting is. Underwriting takes actual effort and do something, but oh my god, how, I mean, it pays off in ways you can't even imagine. It improves your speed of decision making. It improves your ability to, like, weed out the bullshit from this, like, day to day dump you get in your email from 1,000 wholesalers. Oh, I have this deal to sell, I have that deal to sell. I mean, how do you know which one's a good deal? There is so much noise out there, it's impossible. I mean, that's how people get in trouble. And the reason people like Grady are associating with us is for that reason, because I think Grady, and correct me if I'm wrong, he believes in the vision of what we are trying to do.
Exactly.
Something that Grady is real. The reason I want to talk about Grady for just a minute is because Grady is a mindset coach. Okay, when, I mean, if you look at sports, and I'm gonna go on a slight tangent and come back. If you look at sports, if you look at uh, like people who go, I mean, kids who win spelling bee, or kids who win like chess competitions, or anything that is I mean, huge success in life, that requires mindset. Okay, mindset training. I know a lot of little kids that are doing really, really good in sports because their parents have hired a mindset coach or a therapist who focuses on the mindset of the kid, because kids are I mean, there is so much attraction in this world now that it's impossible for a kid. I mean, we are all kids because of these attractions, almost. So even though we have grown up and we are adults, the attractions are actually increasing for an adult. At least when you're not an adult, your parents are monitoring and controlling the inflow or your exposure to these attractions. But when you're an adult, nobody's watching. You're out there by yourself. So in order to like cut through this thing and this navigate through this world of attractions, you need a good mindset. So I think Grady is going to be an amazing addition to this group who can actually help each and every one of you. If you can set up, I mean, Grady, tell me how you want to do this. I'm happy to introduce you on whatever level you want. But if you are able to hire a few, I'm not sorry, hire. If you are able to help a few people in the community, whoever is looking at some sort of mindset training as your pilot run, propose it
Yeah.
however you want in the group, and I'm happy to market that for you. um
Yeah, yeah, I'll just do so, you know, I'm a third generation oil and gas brat. That's where I kind of got started in my quote unquote
nice.
careers.
Same here. I mean,
Work
first generation, but same here.
Yeah, worked in oil field. I've done everything except for pump gas at a gas station, from drilling to producing, you know, taking the oil and natural gas out of the well to refining. When I got into refining, I got into industrial firefighting and confined space rescue, and I did that for a little over a decade. The thing that I really
Wow.
found that I loved about that was working with the people on, hey, we have to get a good mindset because we're running into situations where if it's a fire, there's, it's got a constant fuel source and it's a lot more dangerous and uncontrollable if you don't know how to deal with it. And if you step in the wrong mindset, if you step in from a place of fear, the likelihood of getting injured or someone getting injured is a lot higher. Where if you can step in with confidence and you know your roles, you know what you're supposed to do, the speed of putting the fire out, the speed of rescuing that person in a confined space, the speed of at which you do the job, even though you may seem like you're doing it slow, the speed increases and the likelihood for an injury or something to get worse or anything like that drastically decreases.
Wow.
And so I really started to get into mindset stuff. I went through my own little depression and I stepped away from oil and gas because the shift work and everything that was going on just wasn't putting me in the right place. And then I really dove in much deeper on my own mind, my brain. What's happening here? Why am I feeling this way? How do I fix this? And I started to really go through it. The big thing that what I started doing, I got into day trading at that time too, and I built a digital marketing business at the same time and was just enthralled with mindset. I started a mindset coaching business. I worked for a few hedge funds, a few different trading companies, and I got to work with people that in 5 minutes would make or lose more money than I'd seen in my entire life.
Wow.
And
Oh yeah, that
so,
I can relate to that. Crazy. Anyway,
yeah.
sorry.
Oh no, it's fine. So from that, you know, I've always loved, like, God put a passion on my heart to help people move up to the next level, to help people grow and find more confidence and passion in themselves. I like to thrive myself on being the personal hype man for my friends, right? With that, it all leads back to mindset. We'll fast forward a little bit. After a few years, I kind of stepped away from doing the mindset work so that I could really focus on building and getting into real estate investing because the opportunity to help people on so many different levels is huge. I mean, you get to help people from the lending side grow their own portfolios to, make money, make interest money on their money, to helping sellers get out of difficult situations, maybe putting them into a better place, to partnering with other friends and family within the community and helping them grow their business as well. Excuse me. And so that's what really drew me into real estate. Well, now that I've got a solid business partner, we got a team that we're building, that, we're moving forward, we're growing, we're doing all that. I'm getting back into my mindset work. And Chaz has been awesome about letting me come in here and kind of sharing what I'm doing. And, we're working something out to see how I can help, because I want to continue to help the community. And a big thing that I see in myself while growing, and in a lot of people that I talk to throughout all the different real estate communities I'm in, is lack of confidence because of the deal, because they haven't done their first deal, or maybe the first deal was a bad one and they jumped in more emotionally. And that all leads back into the group you're in right now with underwriting. And the easiest way, I don't know if I'd say the easiest way, but one of the best ways to build confidence that you're moving forward with a good deal is solid underwriting, because the numbers aren't going to lie. They are what they are. And, the only numbers that you can really change is your cost of repairs. How much repairs are you doing, or do you need to do? Maybe there's some things that you don't have to necessarily do. To rental numbers, those can constantly shift. If you want to make your property more viable, rent out quicker, it's going to be lower than if you're okay with waiting a few months to get a renter in there on the higher end. And so there's a lot of different aspects, but you can build confidence in yourself and in what you're doing by truly understanding the numbers and taking as much emotion out of it as possible. And so,
I mean, this is a great one. What you just said, Grady. Numbers don't lie, humans do.
Yep.
Remember that.
We all, whether we like it or not, whether we want to or not, we all lie. Yet
100%.
the numbers can tell you what you need to know, and if it's going to be a good deal or not. And the other thing is, depending on how you run your business, because everybody's going to run their business a little differently, you can build friendships and relationships with people to help build that confidence. You guys have already stepped into this group. You're getting some awesome underwriting by someone who's done more properties than I've probably ever looked at. And that's
So
great.
in my career, I have bought and sold at least over 600 properties. And now I'm lending on, I mean, I'm not even counting the properties I'm lending on, even though I could count by a lot of, uh, lot of people explain or, oh, I'm sorry, one second. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people like to increase their count. So last year, I don't know if you guys are attending Squad Up or not, but or if you have attended previously. So there was a small, like an event within Squad Up that where they were asking people to come on the stage if they have done 10 deals. Okay, then leave if you have not done 25 or more. Then people who did 25 or more stayed. Then people who did 50 or more stayed. Like, and they went all the way up to 1,000 plus. And my partner wanted to stay there for over 1,000, because if I connect myself with, I mean, a lot of people count the deal twice because they purchased it and then they sold it. So they count a lot of deals two times. Sometimes they were just part of it to facilitate it. They count that as a deal. If they were a lender on it, they count that as a deal. So I don't even count deals. When I say 600, I have personally paid money to buy and sold later. And if I wholesaled it without paying the money or without acquiring, I don't even count that. If I lent money on it, I don't even count that. So thank you for I never even thought of sharing this. And it's not to toot my own horn. It's just to show that to do 500 or 600 deals, you have to underwrite at least 5,000 or 6,000 deals. So again, not to toot my own horn, but just to show as a proof that I'm capable of underwriting a deal. Even after this, I cannot say with 100% confidence that can underwrite a deal for Grady, because I don't know Grady yet. I don't know what he wants. The risk I'm ready to take and the deal that is a deal for me, it may not be a deal for Grady. So I need to interview Grady in order to say that, okay, this is a great deal for you because that's what you're looking for, because of this situation in your life, because your risk appetite is this much. So there is so much that goes into it. And after I spill all these thoughts and pour them into like all of you guys, I am developing my own set of uh, curriculum by being able to teach you guys all these things. I'm able to write certain things down, and this allows me to find and identify what people are exactly looking for. Because the reason I'm doing this honestly is I could never find a good curriculum about underwriting anywhere. I mean, everything that is out there is focused on uh, teaching just the basic numbers and calculations. Like, I mean, if you go out there, try to learn underwriting, you're going to find something like cap rates, ratios, all the mathematical stuff, which is great, which is what my background is. I love maths, I love numbers, but really the underwriting aspect of a deal goes beyond numbers. It goes beyond numbers into the person's or the investor's life. So that's what I want to focus on. That's why I think mindset type topics are like more important than ever, especially in this age, current considering these creative communities we are part of and the deals uh, that we do. They were not very popular. I mean, these deals were being done by people. I mean, it was an old boys club, honestly. Like, people did not really market or teach anybody how to do owner financing, how to acquire subject to properties, how to take over certain liens without uh, alarming the banks, and whether it's legal or not. All these things. I mean, Pace Morby is one of the best um one of the best friends I've had in my life, and he's the reason why I'm able to speak so freely. He gave me this opportunity to teach his students when I told him, hey, there is a gap in your community and I think underwriting is missing. He's like, why don't you do it? So he was super open. I mean, he's one of the guys I know who focused on a win-win. He knows how to help others, like, to help himself, and I mean, true abundance mindset mentality. So those are the things, like, these are all super modern methodologies in a way, and that's what I want to focus on in this group. So I mean, thank you so much, Grady, for connecting with us here, and we want to dedicate a session to mindset. We are gonna plan on that. There is another guy you should know, by the way. I don't know if you know him, Marlon Johnson. Have you heard of him?
I have.
Oh, okay. Marlon is a great friend and an amazing human being. Uh, I mean, I've been meaning to go on his podcast myself. Haven't had a chance yet. Um, I realize my camera has been. So I'm just taking this call outside walking today because today was a different day compared to other days. I've got some projects going on. Go walk. But anyhow, so I would love to bring
Well,
Marlon and you on together if you don't mind.
not at all. And
Yeah.
we'll be talking at Squad Up about this.
Oh, 100%.
So
Yes.
yeah,
Let's
be
plan
warned.
on shooting some content there.
I'm gonna be chasing you down, brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And
Thank you.
for anybody in here, if you ever have questions or you ever have doubts in yourself or anything like that, you can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram, whatever it is, reach out to me. I'm here for you guys. we're all a community. We can't do this. I mean, you can do it alone, but it's going to be more of a struggle. You guys are in an awesome community of people that all want to help each other out. So don't ever hesitate to reach out to me. And let's get some deals done. Let's get some work done together and help everybody else succeed.
Chad, can I comment, Chad?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
With regarding the information on underwriting that's out there, I see it's two kinds of underwriting. One underwriting is for banks who require their packages to be underwritten to
Love
be
where this is going.
okay
Sorry, go ahead.
to be sold into the secondary market. That's what the underwriters do. Make sure that
Correct.
the I's are dotted and the T's. On the other side is these private investors. That's a more risky valuation because they're on the loans for a longer period of time. So I would think that underwriting for long term is different than underwriting for loans to be sold to the secondary market.
100%.
And yeah, because
And
there's a big
it's
difference in
all
evaluating.
revolves, I mean, it all revolves around banks because the everyday Joe or everyday investor is not able to, I mean, they don't want the everyday Joe to go to an underwriting school and learn how banks, uh, like how banks put all their perspective in the process by having the right underwriting process. And that can be done for an everyday investor. And the investors that are wildly successful while we are trying to find a deal, they are the reason is underwriting because their underwriting process is known to them first. And second is they have found themselves, they have found what they need, they have found what their risk appetite is, and they have put all of this in a process, trained people. Okay, you go look for deals that look like this and send it to my approver. That approver will look at how much money is available, and then the acquisition guys will go and acquire those properties. They make it so simple by putting that, learning that underwriting process first and putting it in their business process and make their business like flawless. It is so easy that they don't even have risk. I mean, if you come and look at my business, every property I buy has multiple exit strategies. I focus all of my energy on acquiring or bringing the lead flow or increasing my lead flow. That way I can pick and choose the best deals. And when I buy the best deal, no matter how much I screw up, I'm still going to come out positive or at least break even. So when you don't have enough lead flow and when you don't underwrite enough deals, you're going to end up with a bad deal. So great point. I mean, that's exactly what banks do. I mean, they have a process and they have increased their lead flow. The lead flow goes through a process that yields the best deals possible. Am I right in saying that, Don?
Yes, you are. And I believe that the banks are freely approve a lot of loans because they sell them into the secondary market and they get
Yep.
the money right back. And the long-term investor is the one that's jeopardized to take a loss.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I've experienced that working in banks as well as the secondary market and underwriting loans for them. That basically all they want to do is close them, get their money back, because they get a service release on the loans that are sold. They get some points on the backside. So if they have to get very few of them do guarantees where they buy the loans back. So they just make sure that everything is in there, all the necessary document, and the risk is
Yep.
shared with it, and the risk is placed on the secondary, the private investors. Oh yeah.
Yes. It is so, it's amazing how, and we still trust them and do business with them because we have no other option.
Yeah, but
So
we don't seem to understand. We deposit our money there, get 2%. They turn
Yeah.
around and lend it on car loans at 23%, or on mortgages
Oh
at
yeah.
6 or 7, and they don't share the spread with us.
Yeah,
Oh
exactly.
yeah.
No, that's amazing, man. Thank you for sharing all these things, John.
so Chai, I've seen Victor's had his hand up here for a little bit.
Yes. Okay. Hey, Victor, so sorry if you've had your hand raised for a while.
Yeah, no,
What's
no
up?
worries.
Is there a deal we can talk about, or
Yeah,
is there
well,
a question?
yeah. So there is a deal. I'm not completely prepared to talk about all of it yet. I want to, speaking of underwriting, do some underwriting on it a little bit myself. But it's a 149 unit apartment in Houston. And so I guess my
Okay.
question was if I'd like to get some preliminary underwriting done myself, am I able
Yes.
to share this with you sometime, maybe today or later in the day or this weekend,
Yeah. Send
and
it
we
to
can
me
schedule
in
some
the
time to talk
email.
about it?
But
Okay.
if you have it in front of you, I'm happy to give you a basic understanding on what you are looking at. So where did it come from? Let me ask you that first.
Um, Facebook. I don't remember which group it was in, but it was someone through Facebook. Which I guess the guys that have it, they are part of Sub 2 as well.
Okay. That's fine. So is this deal being sold by a big box broker,
No.
or this is straight to the direct with seller?
Yeah, it's direct to seller. I talked with the other investors yesterday, a little bit to try to get an understanding. They came across this deal. This one isn't in a I guess that they don't necessarily invest in Texas, so they're wanting to just kind of wholesale it and have another investor
Okay.
take it on.
Okay.
Um,
What is the price tag?
Price tag is 11.5 million.
Okay. And is there a lien that someone's taking over subject to, or what is happening?
No, so it's a 100%, well, not 100%, but it's a seller finance deal.
Okay.
The seller is willing to finance about 9.8 million.
Okay. Let me tell you, it might be a deal that I had it in the contract. Mm, Ashish. Is this coming from a guy named Ashish?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I know this deal. 777. Oh, no, not that. Mm, yeah, I'm the one who walked this deal.
Oh,
This is
did you
on
already walk it?
Galveston Street or something, right? It's a
Right, right.
143 unit, not 149.
143, right, okay.
Okay.
Oh, so you
Yeah,
already
so
walked
it's
it.
yes. So it's a very, very bad deal
Mm,
because there is a crazy amount of. So remember something. So this is a privately held deal. Yes, that is correct. It's not held by a syndication or a big group. The problem is this investor has bought deals after deals after deals and has a team here in Houston. He lives in California, and someone made him an offer, and this deal has gone through a lot of challenges. They've had mass vacancies due to some issues with housing tenants, but they are filling it up, but they are doing a really, really poor job of rehabbing every unit. There is a crazy amount of deferred maintenance across the board everywhere. So this deal needs to be purchased for a lot lower than that price because of that reason.
mm,
Yeah, so
okay.
yeah, be careful. Like if you can sell it to someone, sure, you could. So that's another thing we will talk about, like over the next, I mean, over time or on a regular basis. When you buy versus when you sell, how do you underwrite and what do you disclose and what you don't and why? I mean, if you don't like a deal, that doesn't mean someone else won't like a deal. You don't like a deal because like that deal because, or I don't like that deal to be honest with you, is because there is too much deferred maintenance. I can find deals that are easier. This will take up a lot of my time versus what I'm doing. I'm focused on doing more loans, growing my lending company. So at this point, this is not a good deal for me. Uh, Maybe at another time, I would chase it uh, harder, maybe negotiate it harder and get a better deal and try to do it if I had more time. So, but for someone who has more time and is more infrastructure wise equipped for something like this, can focus on this deal. And even after that, I feel like they need to negotiate it a little harder. Houston expense ratios are crazy high. Just so you know, when I say that, what I mean is property tax and insurance in Houston is through the roof. Okay. So Houston expense ratios for poorly managed properties can go as high as 70%. Okay. 50 is normal when the property is stabilized, maybe 40, 45. If you are really good at managing, that's where you should be, 40 to 50. For properties that are under market, poorly managed, the ratios for expense, the expense ratio can go as high as 70%. So you need to know what your insurance numbers are going to look like, what your tax numbers are going to look like up after the acquisition. Because whatever the seller is going to show you is based on what it is valued at today. But they purchased this property 15, 20 years ago at less than half the price of what they're selling you. And when you acquire that at 11 million, your valuation might go up. City may notice that you purchased it at a higher price and change your assessed value based on that. So that will increase your taxes, or rather double your taxes. If so, you need to be aware of these things in the market. So that's why multifamily is its own education. But again, when you market it, you market with the numbers you got in hand and let the buyer make those decisions. If they come to me, I'm going to give them the right advice. But if I'm marketing it, I'm not going to spell out everything for them, because you go to school and learn. And then when you are in the market, everybody is their own, everybody is responsible for their own, fate. So do what you got to do to get things sold at the right price. So you don't need to think for the buyer. I used to have this moral quarrel all the time when I did the wholesaling. I used to feel like I'm scamming people and whatnot, but then I realized I'm not responsible for their bad decision. I mean, the way the property looks right now, I didn't do that. So I'm going to negotiate it down to 5 million if I have to, or if I can, and try to get it as at the best price I can. So uh, with that being said, I think if you're able to sell it, if you have people interested, connect them with those guys and try to make a buck in between. But don't jump into it with all your money or even part of your money without knowing the ins and outs of it.
Mhm. Yeah, who did you walk it with? What was it with
Oh,
them
it's
or a
just
property
me.
manager? Always
Yeah,
just you?
I mean, I had the first right of refusal. I mean, I'm the reason why they got it under contract. I mean, not I'm the reason, because I told them I'll walk it and manage it for them. They got it under contract. And then after I walked it, I told them, but they didn't drop the contract. They are trying to sell it outside. They
Oh,
could have dropped it if they wanted to, but they're trying to wholesale it because it's a seller finance deal. A lot of people are interested. But again, it's a heavy seller finance deal
Can I
because the investor who's selling, yeah,
can I
please
step
go
in
ahead.
and kind of add something that Chai mentioned? So on
Yes, please.
the aspect, right? All of us are looking at deals and we see something that appears really good at first. And I know I'm prone to this. Or we see something where, hey, we have an opportunity to help someone, and kind of our heart pulls into the deal, and we get a little bit more emotional on it.
Yep.
Being able to, that's where underwriting has been pivotal for me, because we are operating businesses. We are looking at this from a business aspect. And being able to take a quick step back and look at the numbers to pull that emotion out of it for that moment is another way to just go from being either on wholesaling side, feeling scammy or anything like that, to, hey, I totally understand that your property, this is the position your property's in. Maybe you didn't mean for that to happen, something happened in your life, but that's out of your control. We are operating a business here. We do have to make sure that what we're doing is profitable and not putting us in a position where we're taking on more hardship than we can handle. And moving from there, instead of, oh, yeah, this is an awesome deal, because you do want to move quick, right? You don't want to lose it to somebody else. But diving into the numbers is going to tell you, hey, when you go back to negotiate, when you go back talk to the wholesaler, or maybe when you're talking to the seller, hey, I'm not judging you on whatever happened here, but here's where I have to be on the numbers. Here's where I have to be to do good by myself, my conscience, and my business.
And it also goes back to like the airline rule, like put your mask on first before helping others. Right? So, I mean, just because you can see other people's pain, I mean, it's a great quality, by the way, doesn't mean you should cause yourself pain and put yourself in a risk position to help others. First, help yourself in order to make a bigger impact on the world by empowering yourself, fueling your own journey.
Yeah. What one of so I originally started out, I did an apartment syndicating mentorship before I got into sub two. Then I heard about sub two, and I liked the whole creative finance approach and learning that. And so I kind of ran into that where I was looking at a property in Colorado. And so I was working with an agent, and some of the information that he was giving me, I thought he was a little bit too aggressive. And so one of the things that I expressed to him was like, hey, look, it's just so you know, like if I can't be, because he was being really aggressive with like the rents that he was telling me that he could get on these. And so I told him I don't want to be, that's not where I want to be, especially if it's going to put, because I'm doing syndication, so I'm going to put other people's money potentially at risk, and I can't do that to them. And then so ultimately I ended up losing a little bit of money on it because I had paid for like some inspections and stuff like that, and some travel to go over there. But yeah, no, definitely. I'm not afraid to walk away from something, if I think it's going to be a bad deal. But yeah.
No, great. I mean, thank you so much for sharing, and thanks for the question and bringing this deal. Any other questions anybody has for today, or else I'd like to conclude. And we will be in full force starting April. We will have some, I mean, we'll still do the call next week, but because of Squad Up, I'm not expecting, I'm not able to bring guests or do other things. I guess we'll see how that goes. But starting April, regardless of next week, we are gonna put a much better structure to this call and try to help everybody. I want you guys to do me a favor. Go to the Facebook group if you're not already part of it, join the group, and then at least invite 5, if not 50 people that you know that can benefit from this type of information. And the mission, again, on this call that we are doing, the goal is much better. The value proposition is much higher. It's not just any other community. This is actually helping people make smarter decisions instead of pushing them to do hard work and someone else takes the deal. If you The more knowledge you have with the numbers and how the big organizations like banks or institutional investors look at their numbers, if you dive into those things, you are going to realize everything can be converted to a process that is going to make your decision making, investing a much smoother, headache free. You can focus more on your family once you know and trust the process. So please help me help you and a lot more people like you. Join the community, add more people, invite more people. And thank you so much again for attending today. I'm going to drop my Instagram in here. If you don't already follow me, please do. There's more content coming that is geared towards underwriting. Thank you so much. I'm going to drop my Instagram. Thank you all. Please look for that Instagram and talk to you guys soon. Thank you. Thank you. Talk to you guys soon. Bye. Take care.